While Scop is responsible for creating my single favorite piece of music, Niki is, without a doubt, my favorite overall Vocaloid producer. Previously, I had described Niki as a perfection of the idea of music as emotion, crafting a sound and tone that are all his own. Whereas composers like Naru teach you about a problem in society or the world at large, personified in their music, Niki at his best embodies a feeling, every element of the composition bleeding the message of the song. These messages aren't lessons, per se, like the Naru music, rather desires, emotions poured out for the listener. I will continue to believe. I truly love you. I want to keep living. Niki's latest song, Grave, was a real return to form for him. The song chronicles an ill patient, their frustration at their lack of agency, and their desire to keep living. This is accentuated in the song's PV, which visualizes the boy's fight against illness by showing a fictionalized version of himself engaged in physical combat. Do these sort of ideas sound familiar? It's the same sort of premise as Error. Error is about someone who is terminally ill and, as their body slowly degrades over time, still wants to live and see the ones they care for. Both songs are powerful rock ballads, Niki's strength as a composer, featuring a more droning verse before exploding in the chorus. What these songs do with that obvious framing device is show how valuable life is from the perspective of someone at the fringe of it. Through all the pain, the desire to live is unflinching. Error screams at the body's own deficiencies, pleading to keep breathing, while Grave wishes that the world would freeze, stopping the degradation and the pain. A great part of the tragedy in these songs comes from how that desire, at least in part, is unmet. The singer of Error most certainly dies at the end. That's what the error is, after all. The shutting down of the body. And while Grave is a bit more ambiguous, the title is, in fact, Grave, so signs of any hope are questionable at best. The songs are framed around a situation in which the speaker's life is tangibly finite and precious, using that setting to inform the listener how precious and finite all life is. The important takeaway being that through all the suffering, the speakers desperately want to live. Everything is possible only because you are alive. It's not just these two songs either. Niki's entire body of work is reflective of similar themes and messages. His older piece, Plus Reverse, features similar ideas, albeit told in a bit more abstract way. Plus Reverse features a shifting perspective. The speaker first remarks about feeling like they are lost within the flow of time, trapped between a past they can't get back and a future that they have no control over. Similar diction is used between this and Grave, specifically the feeling that you are being washed away, representing the lack of agency in one's life. However, as the song reaches its climax, this statement changes, Lily singing, "I was born, I can't oppose that." The message being that we cannot retaliate against the fact of our birth. Everyone is alive, but it's only because of this that we are able to experience the wonders of the world. Plus Reverse is about this realization. One's love, their gratitude, are only possible because we are living. Through all these pieces, Niki's message is clear and ringing. I want to live. And it simply never ends. Plain Theory demonstrates unfiltered joy at the feeling of love, where Close to You highlights the depth of devotion therein. Briliant beautifully shows the value of life from someone grieving and from someone who has passed, where Jitter Doll promises that no matter what becomes of the world, it can always be redeemed and saved so long as we continue to believe and hold on to hope. Niki is important as a producer, not simply because his music is catchy, though it certainly is. Rather, Niki is important because no one else's body of work speaks so strongly to the value of life. Nothing else makes me believe that life is good and worth living like Niki's music. Through all the pain, the loss, and the aching, things like love and accomplishment are only possible if we are living. And not just living, but living proudly. Because every moment, from birth to death, is precious and life is finite. We can neither freeze the world nor go against the flow of time. All we can do is live. Through all of the grief and loss, you can't simply resign yourself to life. From Taiyou to Grave, Niki's music assures us that life is worth living. And I think that that is amazing. Thank you.